Hey, and he did get the tacos too.
He did get the tacos on Friday night too.
Did get the tacos, and I rushed back so that we could record, and no notice, no nothing. Like, hey, we've decided not to record, so no need to hurry back or anything like that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the No Sauce Podcast. Kyle, John, and we'll say Danny. We're just going to call it the No Sauce Podcast. I mean, it was initially No Sauce with Kyle and John. Now Danny, kind of comes in and, he it's great analysis and everything else. It's fun. But as you can see, we're back in our old stomping grounds. Mesquite trip is over. Unfortunately, we only got one episode recorded in that, so that's kind of on me.
That's all right. Could have won some more games. We would have had a lot more time to do some other things. But yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles, man. It happens, dude.
Yeah, we ended up going 1-2. Lost our first game, couldn't hit. Second game, we hit better, and the third game we hit okay, but we just couldn't pull one out. So, anyways, it was a fun trip. We spent all day Saturday. Well, at least some of us did. All day Saturday in front of the sports book watching football. That was crazy. And
great seats too. It wasn't, those were good seats. It was a nice sports book, nice addition that they put down there. Yeah.
Johnny, did you get all your shopping done that you needed to?
I did. I also went to little Gordon Ramsay's too.
Oh, which one? Which one did you go to? Did you go to his actual one or the one in like the casino?
It's a pub and grill at Caesars.
Pub and grill. Yeah. Okay. So it's good. So we got to watch a bunch of football and get some good food. So it was good.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
That sounds like a good time. Expensive, yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, but when you don't get a vacation very, very often, and you're constantly doing a bunch of kid things, it's good to just kind of take care of yourself for a minute or two. So it was good.
100%.
Nice. Very nice. But anyway, so
hey, and he did get the tacos too.
He did get the tacos on Friday night too.
Did get the tacos, and I rushed back so that we could record, and no notice, no nothing. Like, hey, we've decided not to record, so no need to hurry back or anything like that. But
I don't even know what we did that night. What did we do?
Nothing.
I know there was like nothing going on that night. I think we were just all kind of hanging out, tired, whatever, and
yeah. I don't. I think we were pretty tuckered out. We didn't weren't real excited.
Bowling after our second game.
Oh, that's right. That's what we did. We went bowling. Yeah. That's what we did. That was a good time.
Me, you, Dame, Eric, and Yak. We went bowling, and we found out Eric is pretty good at bowling, even with
Oh, dude, his hand was gross.
Yeah.
So just let that be a lesson for anybody out there that if you're ever playing on turf fields, tape up the arms and elbows and legs or anything like that, and just because the rubber pellets in there just burns. It burns the hand, and
the worst kind of rug burn too. That stuff will stick in you. That's those are ground up tires, man.
Yep.
Like legitimately.
Yeah.
So
we found out he's a pretty good bowler. So
yeah, we had to get that. Hey, I bowled fairly decent the first game. Broke 100 the second game. How'd you do, Kyle?
I didn't.
I heard he doesn't even know which way to throw the ball.
I don't. I really don't. I think I broke 100. I broke 100 the second game. I think I didn't break it the first game. I missed it on the first game.
Yeah, not anywhere close the first game. I don't think.
Yeah. So I mean, but the pizza was good, even though we had to wait like 2 hours to finally get it.
I think they legitimately. I think when you finally called and asked, they were like, "Oh shoot, we forgot about this order." Because when it came out, there was no rest time. That was hot, like super hot. Like it was, and everybody was so hungry they just kept diving into it and bitching about how hot it was.
It was so good that Yak went back the next day and got himself another pizza.
Jeez.
And he only eats cheese pizza. It's not nothing extravagant. It's just cheese pizza for you.
Yeah, that was good times. Good times. But I think we went bowling, ate some pizza, and I think after that we were all kind of just whatever. I don't even know what I did after that.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. By the end of the second game, like my knees were so pissed at me. And it had been a long day. I had a few road sodas in me, so I think by the end of that second game,
Road sodas.
it was 9-9 time. Yak was already Yak beat us to bed. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
He was out when I showed up. That was
Yeah. Then we had some
very
conversations
yeah.
up on the balcony as we did. That was a good time and
Yeah.
good times. Memories.
Saw a player friend of ours that Kyle said that he snubbed us, and then found out that Kyle didn't return his messages. So that was fun. We played
Yeah,
against him on
Scotty, that was
Friday night.
my bad. I thought I messaged Scotty and Rick thought he did too. Then I went back looking at the messages and I really didn't. And he let me hear it in that second game when we actually
as,
played against him. So
as we should have.
yeah.
At
So
least we got the win.
yeah, it is. At least we got the win. And well, so I have a theory. I have a question before we get into the rankings and stuff about. I was thinking about this today. When you don't have guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark on like command, like some of those teams did, are you still considered a D team, or like are we still, because we're still learning basically, and guys are still trying to? I don't know. I just felt like
I'll answer that question before you even finish asking the entire question. I mean, and I've ranted about this constantly. Are we a D team? Absolutely, we're a D team. So when you talk about rankings and how they should be, right? So I mean, you got your entry level, obviously your E-rec teams, right? Those are your, hey man, you guys want to go play softball? We've never done this before. We play league and stuff, but it's the first time going out of town. Let's go to a tournament, right? You go out there and, like I said before, you get rec rolled, right? You go out there and just get demolished. Um, and then you go back and you're like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's get some guys, and you start getting a squad together, right? And this is I'm talking about going to tournaments, not league kind of stuff. And you go to tournaments, so you take your league team to a tournament. That's an E team. You get a new team together. That's an E team. Once you start playing together and you start competing, and you get, say, if you go to something like 8 tournaments a year, that next year you should be playing to get better, and then that following year you should definitely move up to D, unless you start winning games right away. So once you get to your D division, how many tournaments you played in, Kyle?
this year,
Oh no.
I mean, a lot over the course of my
Yeah,
sophomore
exactly.
career.
So we're definitely competitive ball players, and we need to be in the D division. Like I talked about before, what happens is all these D players go down and try to saturate the E division, and then the C division goes down, and it's a race to the bottom instead of a race to the top. So the top of the D division is definitely mostly C players, but you can't tell me that the team that won AFA Worlds we can't beat. We could
Who won
beat them on
Who
any
won
day.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't even know
So,
who won it.
balls on,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And Rosebud was right behind them.
And we beat Rosebud before.
Exactly. So we're all competitive teams. Now, the thing about it is these guys that really invest in traveling together, maybe get sponsored. Whether that means their dad's construction company or whatever. They got some coin that are paying for them to go out of town. So you really get the core of guys. Even though we got the core guys, but we only play a couple, 2-3 times a year with the core of guys together, right? So that's where it comes down to. We have the D caliber ball players. We are a D team. Did we play like them this last weekend? No. And is the home run thing? And I even thought about it too, man. Like this tournament, and I love the guy to death. We just probably shouldn't have done the ban. We should have just done away with it, and that
We didn't hit any at all, did we?
Well,
Like
I
maybe
mean,
one.
the only team
yeah,
that
and
really,
psychologically, we've talked about it. Does this even to our dudes that can launch on command, guys that win big home run derbies? and things like that. You put a band on them and they just go stupid. So it's almost like let's just play within the game. Piss on that band. If we go
Yeah.
hit them, we hit them. Whatever, right? And
Right.
I mean, we get 3, and that's why playing up the inning out is stupid. But we didn't even get to that point, so that's not even a conversation. But had we done that, whatever. But that's why you don't want to play E, because E's and E Rex, that's where you get your inning outs. That keeps dudes that can launch from
Well,
moving down.
in the 3 games that we played, the only guy that had a band that hit him out was the first game.
Mhm.
And I don't know that I'm not going to accuse him of anything. That he swung it good. Let's just put it that way, and hit 2 bombs. The rest of the other 2 band guys from the other 2 teams, I don't think they hit many either. I don't think many band guys hit any the way that the ball wasn't flying out there. I don't know. But anyways, I thought about that. And I'm like, we got, like you said, we played together 3-4 times, maybe, and we still got guys that are learning, they
Oh,
got
sure, absolutely. A lot of youth,
the
lot
cut
of
swing, they
youth.
got to learn a lot, about this game. And
Well, as an outsider, like again, I joined you guys for the weekend.
Sure.
Appreciate the invite and whatnot. But
And we appreciate
hey,
you coming.
I mean, from what I saw, yeah, you've got some talent, but I wouldn't say you're really a D team quite yet, and it shows with defensive alignments. We had numerous times, where when we switched to a 4-man outfield where the infield wasn't really adjusting. Where in that last game, I think I counted 7 or 8 hits up the middle, and we didn't once have our shortstop and second baseman pinch the middle. And I just think that that's something that comes from experience playing.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
and again, I look at the team. We hit 1 home run. Like with the youth and the power and stuff that they have, I would have expected a few more. But and maybe it was a bad tournament. Maybe that's what it was. But I would say you're borderline, you know, borderline E team. You know,
And we're
but
I mean, you got. I mean, we're missing 4 or 5 guys on any given time on this team that we have a hard time keeping it in the park.
yeah,
So, and that's where it becomes tricky, right? So, I mean, you
yeah,
play in some D tournaments, and there's no going back, right?
yeah,
So, and that's once again, I think the dudes that are at the top of our D division, that they have no business playing in D, man. Those guys are C caliber players, potentially B players, lower B players, right? Like
yeah.
they're just, I mean, coming out of college or whatever, still super young, big, talented. Um, but yeah, that C division is what happens is they never have enough teams to play, so then they
Because
trickle
everybody's too
down into the
scared
D
to.
division.
well,
Yeah,
that's the thing is Balzania had a couple guys from that MNT D team that took like second or third at Worlds. So like those are technically C guys that have dropped back down, just to play D and do what they, win those games, right? Because that's what they want to just do is just win.
yeah,
And so I don't know. I'm not saying we can't play at D. I'm just thinking like looking at the lineup, they still got to figure out how to play in a tournament instead of just showing up and thinking they're just going to win. And I think I mentioned this to you, Danny. Like, I love these guys, these young guys that we have, Joe,
Mhm.
Brady, Griff, Noah, Luke, all of them. I love them to death, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to keep going to tournaments with them. They're
Yes.
just awesome. But they also played at American Fork High School, baseball wise. And American Fork in baseball over the last decade, maybe 2 decades, hasn't lost a whole lot. Okay.
Sure.
And so that plays into it a little bit where it's just they're good, but they also have to learn how to play this game because it's different than playing baseball in a sense.
Oh, absolutely. And learning to lose, right? Like, yeah,
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's dude. When I first started playing this stupid underhand thing, man, dude, I couldn't figure out how to hit for 4 or 5 years, like right out of playing college baseball and things like that. Like, yeah, I had some flashes or whatever, but I popped up so many things. I went through one year where I couldn't do anything but ground into double plays. Like, I mean, it's different, right? And And yes, you're absolutely right. I mean, we've got to get this core group of guys together, and we need to play together more often, right? And
Yeah.
that's what but we were, this team that we took down to Mesquite, which the great group of guys, had a great time. I would take them anywhere, absolutely. But we sprinkle in a little more of that experience in the lineup, like we got a Gerald McCade, or just we've got some other types of things that have got that can bring a little bit of that experience, that knowledge of the game. Like I said, you put Cade in that middle of that infield, he's going to be moving the middle guy. He's going to be moving the second baseman. He's going to be doing some weird things, those types of things that help give the veteran type of feel, with the youth, and those youth can learn from it, so they don't have to they have to do too much.
Yeah, no, it's just a growing thing. Like, they're all young. They're all in their early 20s. So they're only going to get better, right? They're only going to get better. Good tournament, fun. I think back a little bit last year to that team we took to Goosetown. The experience of all the guys that were playing there, because we played so much, and we didn't get down on ourselves. That's the other thing these young guys got to learn. Don't just get down on yourselves because you get down. Softball is such a quick game that it could change in a hurry. I mean, like the second game we played on Saturday or Friday, sorry. We're down 9-0 in the second inning, bottom of the second inning when we come in. They scored all 9 runs with 2 outs. But yet we come back and we score 8 runs, boom, 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 right? Like, it's just, they got to understand that that's how softball is. You can give up 10 runs, but you can also score 10 runs. Don't get so down because you had one bad AB or you had whatever. And I know they don't, but it's just, there's sometimes when the heads hang, right? And you just got to play through it. But that's just my thought. And they're only
sometimes not overthink it too. Right. Yep. I think a lot of that happens with the youth. Like, they try to fix their swing every swing, right? Rather than just going and
swing with.
Huh?
Or they like switch bats every other at bat.
That's not it's not a pool stick, man.
I think about that Reno team we played in Elko, the guys that beat us in the championship.
Oh yeah.
And those are bats they've swung for like 20 years that are just super broken in. You don't have to buy a new bat every year. Just swing the same bat.
Yeah, $350 bat ain't gonna fix a $2 swing. So
oh, good times.
All right. Let's get
to the meat of why we meet every week now that it's getting closer and closer to the end of the season. I want to say, that John's probably not happy right now, but I also am not happy. I think we've talked about this, and I was like against John or had a different view on it than John earlier this season. But I think the Big 12 is about to get screwed.
Yep. 100%. So I want to share this. Blind reaction. Team A, Team B. Same overall record, same conference record. Both are Power 4 teams. Okay, Team A has between a 30 and a 40 rank of strength of schedule. They have 0 wins over currently ranked teams. They have 2 wins versus teams that have above a 500 record. No losses to unranked teams. That's Team A. Team B has a strength of schedule in the mid-20s. Wins over currently ranked teams, they have 1. Wins versus teams above 500, they have 5. No losses to unranked teams. 1 is ranked in the top 10. 1 is not. Any guesses as to which one's which?
Is Team A BYU?
Notre Dame, BYU?
Yeah, one of the teams right.
Not sure.
Look to your left there, Danny.
Oh, yeah?
Look to your left there.
Okay.
The bias is clear. I'm not saying anything against Oregon. I think it's BS that BYU is ranked at 11. I still think everything's going to kind of semi, potentially, maybe, probably not work itself out. Um, some good teams lost this weekend. I was like, great, that's awesome. It opens the door, moves BYU up. That Oklahoma win over Alabama, I think, Kyle, to your point, it is the one of the final nails in the coffin that's going to keep the Big 12 from only having one team. And if you look at a lot of these teams, Georgia, Oklahoma, I think they all play cupcake schedules this week. So it's going to go down to the final game. Georgia is going to end up playing Georgia Tech. Ole Miss plays Mississippi State. Oklahoma, who do they play at the end? They play Missouri and LSU.
Missouri and LSU, yeah.
I mean, those are two potential trap games, maybe. Oregon probably has the toughest schedule out there. I mean, they play what, USC and
At
Washington.
Washington. That's
So
the
I
game
mean,
that scares me.
so like there's potentially two losses that could bring BYU up. But then I mean, um, you look at teams like Notre Dame, again, two losses, but who have they beat? I mean, I guess they have a win over Pitt and a win over USC,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like BYU has some good wins that are just as applicable to that. So I am not a huge fan of where things are at. I mean, scared for lack of better terms. I think they're in a situation where, I mean, even if you even heard the new president, spokesperson, whatever he is for the College Football Playoff Committee, that in past years they've said, hey, we're going to look at if you go to your conference championship, and we're not going to necessarily hold your feet to the fire, but it is a 13th point that we can look at and determine, how you are. Right there, they're opening the door to, so if BYU were to get blown out, or even if they lose it all, they can just say, well, sorry, you're out. And I think that's complete trash and hot garbage. So
Yeah, I don't like the losing your conference championship game and falling below somebody that didn't play in a conference championship game. And that goes back to some old BCF stuff, right? Like, yeah, that shouldn't happen. And I don't like these teams that, even openly announcing, hey, why not just sit at home while the conference championship game goes? This team's gonna lose another game. We're not gonna lose a game. Why should we fall a spot? Like an Ole Miss or,
yep.
something like that. So I definitely understand the argument about where Oregon sits. Yes, I mean Sean's beat it to death. Who have they beat? Who have they beat? I mean, we can argue that with a lot of people, right? So, and this is another problem I've had is that I think Oregon is getting the advantage of the eye test. And once again, are you going to go by metrics or are you going to go by eye test? And
Yeah.
it's clearly eye test for Oregon. I mean, game day is going back there again. I mean, it's just they put that out there and it's to our advantage this time, and that's kind of nice. But a lot of the time it was Ohio State or even USC back in the day, and just getting the advantage for the eye test. So that's what I don't like about their decisions. Like, is it an eye test? Is it a metric? And I've said that several times. So yeah, I don't. Things are going to shake themselves out. I think Oregon gets a win this weekend. They definitely prove that they belong up there. But yeah, they lose this weekend. 2 home losses, dude. Head to the Independence Bowl or whatever they're going to get out of that. Big 12 or Big 10's different, but
Well,
yeah, no.
here's the biggest stat or whatever that I've heard. Texas A&M undefeated. Like, kudos to them. Their only good quality win is Notre Dame. That's it. Every other SEC team they beat has a losing record in conference. In fact, I believe it's literally the bottom 7 teams or 6 or 7 teams in conference, and they play who is it? I don't even know this school. Samford. They play Samford this week.
And then
Again,
Texas, right?
another SEC team that schedules a cupcake game at the end of the season. You got Old Miss who plays they played the
They already
Citadel.
played the
So
Citadel.
so
Yeah, they
so
got a
so
bye. They got a
they got
bye
a
this
bye
week,
week,
and then get Mississippi State.
and I think it was Georgia. Georgia was the other one that had a cupcake game this week. It's like Charlotte. They're playing the Charlotte Miners or something like that. Like
Charlotte, 49ers.
49ers. Okay, that makes
So
sense
that is,
because a lot of people went to Charlotte during for the gold rush. That makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
yeah, no, that's
Um,
yeah. Anyways,
but again, it's just like there is a clear bias. If you're going to sit there and say no, there's not. Like it. I don't have words. I'm frustrated. Great win by BYU. I wish I would have thrown money down on it because what was the line? 3.5 points. Like that was ridiculous. I should have put good money down on that. So great win for them. I was forced to watch the Utah game as we were driving home. Eric made me watch it. It's good. It was a good watch. You know, they played well. You know, if either of the two teams, well, if BYU gets left out and they win out the rest of the season, and then they lose in the conference championship game, like
I don't see that happening unless they get just blown out. I guess again.
I mean, I guess maybe, you know,
Um,
I don't see them getting blown out quite as bad. They're going to have plenty of time to adjust. They're not going to, Texas Tech is not going to have home field advantage, even though the game's in Dallas, but that's still like 4, 5, 6 hours away. So, I'm excited for the game this week. Let's get a win this week against Cincinnati. UCF game, we can't treat it as a trap game. We got to just go blow the curtains off them, and whatever happens. My hope is at this point we're rooting against. Who are we rooting against? Sorry, I gotta kind of semi root against Oregon.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I gotta root against Oklahoma 100%. Bama, Notre Dame. In fact, really,
Auburn, you
I'll
got to
root
root
against.
for Auburn.
I will root for Mississippi
You're
State,
rooting for Missouri, Auburn, Mississippi State, Georgia Tech. Period.
LSU. Yep, yep. I mean, all of them. So if I can,
Or just win 2 games.
yeah. I mean, who else does Notre Dame play? Can we? Syracuse and Stanford. I'm still sitting on Stanford. It's at the, what do they call their field?
The
The farm.
The
yeah.
farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's at the farm. It's a late game. Notre Dame's probably not even used to playing that late at night, because they get all these nice cupcake middle of the game, middle of the day games. Give them a night game, you know, up there in Palo Alto. Go Stanford.
So what else? What else other than the obvious? What you and I are wanting to talk about? I mean, what else? I mean, shocks you about the standings or stands out about the standings? I mean, Tulane. Obviously, them squeaking in. That's
I
kind
mean,
of cool. If it even happens, that could still change too.
it could, and that position flip-flopped a lot. But if you're Jake Retzlaff, you gotta be thankful that you got honor coded, or else you'd be sitting at BYU in this position thinking, what the hell, you know? So he's probably happy down in Tulane, sitting in the college football playoff right now.
Oh, is that
Um,
where he's at? I didn't know that.
mhm.
Yeah, he transferred
Yep.
down there. Yep.
Oh shit! So yeah, I brought up some sensitive stuff. Right on. I didn't even realize I
No,
did that. That's cool.
that's
I'm glad
great.
I did that.
I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. I want as little amount of chaos up at the top as possible. I can't have Michigan win out. I need them to lose to Ohio State. Plain and simple. Because if they beat Ohio State, they're going to leapfrog. They'll make the Big Ten championship, and if they very very well could beat Indiana, and then that takes another spot away from an at-large bid. Like, yeah, we just need Ohio
You know
State
what?
to win out, Indiana to win out,
You know what's
Texas A&M to win
crazy?
out.
You just need to
Is,
win your conference championship. Is what you need to do.
Yeah,
you
well,
know
there's
what's
that.
crazy is North Texas is sitting there at 5-1,
9-1.
5-1 in the American, 9-1 overall.
Mm-hmm.
They play Rice and Temple to end the season. They're going to win both those games. They're probably going to score 60 points in both those games.
So Mean Green.
They beat Navy already, who Navy's at the top of that conference at 6-1.
Yep.
Right?
Mhm.
I think, was it Tulane that beat Navy? No, it was North Texas. Tulane and Navy didn't even play. So is Tulane even going to play in their conference championship game?
I mean,
They would
they've
have
only
to
lost,
get that bid.
they've only got one loss in conference,
but so
and
does
that's the
Navy, so does
UTSA.
North Texas, and so does East Carolina.
What about James Madison? Are they in that division
They're
too?
not in that. They're not in that conference.
No.
North Texas didn't play Tulane, so they don't have a head-to-head there.
Navy didn't play Tulane.
Navy played Tulane, or no, they didn't play Tulane. They lost to North Texas.
But see, so here's the thing, because Tulane and Navy haven't played, it all depends on what their schedule results are, and I mean, yeah, North Texas has the tiebreaker over Navy, so they're in.
But if there's a three-way tie, though, that doesn't eliminate Navy because Navy didn't play either Tulane.
That's when they go against common opponents.
So
that's how that goes.
And North Texas didn't play Tulane either, so they have to go against the next highest rated conference opponent. But again, East Carolina is sitting there at 5-1 too, and they don't play Navy, Tulane, or North Texas. They lost to Tulane, so they lost to Tulane, but they haven't played North Texas or Navy. So if they win out, how does this? That's what's crazy is like they put Tulane in there, but
how amazing would that be?
Scenarios that Tulane may not play in that championship game.
I would love. Could you imagine that? East Carolina wins out, makes their championship game, wins it, is the high seed, makes it in as the 12 seed into the college football playoff. They lost to BYU. BYU doesn't make it in. Then you'll have multiple teams. Oh, thanks, Kyle.
Pessimism at its finest.
It's just it's a bit ridiculous.
Love it. Loving it. We still got a couple weeks, guys. This is all going to shake out. It's all going to shake out.
Yeah. I got this article pulled up that I sent. We were in a group text tonight, and I sent this to someone else because they were saying that Georgia should just be in because they're higher ranked than everybody else.
Not someone else. And it's Sean. You're talking about Sean. Yeah, call him out. Call him out. He's a
big Georgia fan. Okay, but we were talking about it like there's a bunch of.
But he's only got one team tattooed on his ass. That's the Crimson Tide.
Like Alabama beat Georgia. Georgia beat Ole Miss. Georgia beat Texas. Like, it's crazy. I think the article said that Alabama controls its own destiny. Like, if they win at Auburn, versus Auburn, they're in, right? They're in the SEC championship. If Texas A&M wins out, beats Texas in 2 weeks, they're in, right? Doesn't matter.
Yep.
It'll be Bama and Texas A&M in that game. If Bama falters and Georgia wins, or Georgia's done with SEC play, right? They don't have another SEC game. So
no, they don't. They played Charlotte and Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Yep. And I mean it's crazy. So, I don't know when this article was written because it says Navy and Tulane are the lone beatens against conference competition. Well, that's not true because they lost to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Georgia, Alabama has a tiebreak over Georgia.
For the American, if there's no head-to-head result and one of the tied teams was ranked in the latest available CFP selection committee rankings and doesn't lose in the final weekend of regular season conference play, it will be declared a championship game participant, whatever that. So that would mean Tulane would get in as of right now, right, to the American Conference Championship. This is crazy. This is wild. I'm not even going to read it because it's tacky. But going back to the SEC, first off, I do not think that they should be playing these games that they're going to be playing on the second to last week of the season, right? These crap teams.
Yeah,
But
like you might as well just have a bye there.
Let me finish. But they also, Greg Sankey has to step up. He won't, and force the SEC to play 9 conference games, just like the Big 10 does, just like the Big 12 does, just like the ACC does. It is not fair that the SEC is the only conference in America that does not play 9 conference games, period. Right? And they need to go back to the whole divisions in the SEC, period. Because then you don't have this issue where you've got 5 teams with 1 loss and you're still trying to figure out who's going to the SEC championship. That should not be the case. You have Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, maybe Alabama or LSU, in one division, right? And then you have the Tennessees, the Floridas, the Alabamas, Georgias, in the other division, right? The Ole Misses in the other division. And whoever top of their division after playing 9 conference games, those are the 2 teams that play for the conference championship. They had that set up before. I don't know why they went away from it. I think the reason they went away from it is so they could be in exactly this situation where they get to set the schedules. Like this will be, who was it? Was it A&M that beat Georgia? Who beat Georgia? It was Alabama, right?
Alabama beat Georgia.
Haven't even gone to Texas A&M yet. One time since Texas A&M been in the league, I think Texas A&M been in the league like 9 years. They won't go to until 2026.
Yeah.
Pathetic is like you have to schedule have 9 conference games. Nobody will ever force the hand of the SEC because they're afraid of Greg Sankey. But you have to have 9 conference games, just like every other power conference in America, right? And then you've got to stop scheduling cupcakes at the end of the season. Put those in the first 3 games, or if you're going to do that, 2 of your 3 non-conference games have to be against other power conference schools. Period.
Yeah, I think that needs to be across the board. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You get 1 FCS or non-power 4, or what if you did this? You can schedule 1 FCS, 1 non-power 4, and then 1 power 4, but at least have the same rules across the board for all the conferences.
Well, technically, most of the teams do that. Like if you look at BYU, they didn't have a power 4 non-conference team in their, in their schedule. Like they played Florida State, they played East Carolina, and who was the other one?
Stanford.
Okay, Stanford. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't consider Stanford a power conference team right now because they're terrible, but they are. They're in the ACC, right?
Well, the SEC thinks Arkansas and Kentucky and then are
that's what makes it hard saying non-power 4 and things like that, because the bottom and the top of these large divisions are completely different.
I mean, it's looking at a map right now. The dividing line should be Mississippi and Alabama. Okay, anything Mississippi and westward, you're one division. Alabama and eastward, you're one division. The only problem with that though is here's the division. Here's Division 1, the West. Ole Miss, Mississippi, LSU, Texas A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Okay. The right half, that's where you've got Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. So, I mean, if you look at who have been the conference champions for the past 15 years, 20 years, for the most part, they're over in the East. So maybe that helps balance things out. Maybe it doesn't. But if you do it that way, then you're guaranteed 7 games against your division, right? You'd play everybody in your division. And then the opposite, you would just kind of be on a rotating schedule and you'd play, Texas and
home
Texas A&M. And then, it would take you a few years.
Across college football, the college football playoff committee needs to come out and say, your conference, if you're a power conference, you have to play 9 conference games. That is minimum requirement across the whole landscape. Because like I said, it is not right that these other conferences beat up on each other 9 times, right? And the SEC 8 times.
That was the Pac-12's argument or Pac-10's argument forever. Like, we just beat up on ourselves. We'll always end up with 2 or 3 losses and could never get into the top 4 or whatever. Yeah, it's bottom line. I mean, what we're talking about here is college football needs to be completely realigned, and it needs to be separated from other sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, geographically speaking, like, hey, that's a great idea, John. That should that's how it was set up to begin with. That keeps your local rivalries. That helps a lot of things. That helps your students be able to go to games. Like, it's a lot easier to drive from Eugene down to Palo Alto than it is to go from Eugene to Michigan. It's breaking up kind of. It's things have changed, and it needs to go back to a total realignment.
I'm good with the idea of realignment. It still doesn't take into account the bias, the clear bias that if you are in the western 20 states and you have a late game, your game's not going to get watched. Plain and simple. Like even the Pac-10, when they were the Pac-10 or the Pac-12, they were a power conference, and I thought it was fairly even with the number of teams, and it was regionally located, but they did not get the respect that they deserved because they weren't the SEC or the Big Ten or the ACC, if that matter, right?
Right,
If you
but
weren't part of those three,
I still think you now you can change that, because if you've only got 64 teams, like, I think it can be combated with your divisions, breaking down your divisions. So now there is no discussion, and you fix it with the rules on the back end of that, right? Like, if you play for your conference championship again, you're not dropping. You take a lot of the subjectivity out of it, which is where the bias comes from, right?
yeah.
So you get more to these metrics, and if you have more evenly balanced schools playing more evenly balanced schedules and not being able to front load, back load, whatever that is, I think that's where it starts, and then there's a lot of work to be done from there. But because I totally agree with the bias that you're talking about, growing up in the West.
Yeah. I mean, I look at this like Georgia, they played Marshall, Austin Pay, and then Charlotte. Like that's ridiculous. And then their only other non-conference game was Georgia Tech. Alabama, they played University of Louisiana Monroe. East Illinois, they play this weekend. And then they had Florida State and Wisconsin. So that maybe they tried. It looks like at least a little. Texas A&M, their non-conference games were UTSA, Utah State, Notre Dame, and Samford this week.
Yeah,
Like,
that's got to get fixed.
every single SEC team is either on bye or they have a cupcake game this week. It's ridiculous.
Well, but here's the thing, though. Why don't the other so we talked about, the SEC needs to go to 9 conference games. Why don't the other conferences go down to 8 games and have one of those cupcake games late in the season?
Because at one point we were told if you're not playing a heavy workload or a heavy schedule, then you're not going to be considered for a championship game.
And I think that's exactly right. Like, if you don't play those big division games, and it started with Oregon when Oregon first started going to play SEC schools. I mean, it was like, hey, you can sneak the back door in to the playoff. Well, I mean, back into the championship, but you're not going to get over the top unless you go down to Auburn or go down to Florida State, Georgia, things like that. And absolutely that's where that comes from.
And like it doesn't make sense, especially the SEC. They have 16 teams in there. And if you're only playing 8 games, you've only played half the conference. And it just so happens this year that Texas A&M has literally played the bottom 8 teams of its conference.
I guess they are going to a 9-game conference schedule next year. The SEC is.
Oh, good. So that might help a little bit. But it's like there should be some fine tuning where you can't schedule a high school team your second to last week to prepare you for a rivalry game on your last game of the year. Like, you
But
can't.
I do want to leave room to make sure these teams that don't generally play against each other go play against each other, right? Like,
Yeah.
I,
Like,
I, I mean, those are fun games, especially early in the season. Week 1, week 2, you've got these schools that have never played against, Texas, Ohio State, right?
and that's what I
Things like
think
that.
the beginning of the season should be used for. It's for those games. It's a tester because those games matter in the long run, but they're not going to affect your conference play that determines whether you get into your conference championship game or not. The first 3 games should be that. After that, it should be your conference. Using in and out every week a game that matters, not
The problem is getting into your conference championship game doesn't mean you're getting into the college football playoff anymore. Like,
no, I know.
I hate
I
to say
know.
that, but like they have kind of whitewashed the conference championships outside of the top 3 conference top
Two
4
conferences.
rated conference championship, whatever. But like what we're seeing with the SEC, it doesn't matter who plays in their conference championship game. 4 teams are getting in, period, if they finish out the way that they're going to, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like
5 right now. Like,
I don't know. That's why I think teams schedule those FCS schools, because 1, it's a win. 2, you're not getting beaten up, right? And
when
3, you get some reps in, right? It's just another scrimmage practice, whatever, and you get started.
that's why I'm saying that shouldn't be allowed this late in the season. Conferences need to step up and say,
It's
you
the
get your
SEC,
first
it's the SEC, though. They're not going to say that. Greg
of
Sankey
course
has a
not.
stranglehold on the NCAA. He's not going to say a word about the way they schedule, because it's been
Yeah.
going on for decades. Like, they've been doing this for so long that it's like,
Yeah,
now
they
they're going
have
to
it
have
down
to
to a
adjust,
science.
obviously, when they go to the 9-game conference schedule, but it hasn't changed in 50 years.
Hey, if the Big 12 went and lost Texas and Oklahoma, we'd be talking about a whole different thing, right? Like, I mean,
Uh,
when is that what John's really bitter about? When did you join the Big 12? Weren't you independent like Notre Dame forever?
We were. Yeah, and unlike Notre Dame, if we got a loss, we were done. Notre Dame can have
So
2
joining the
losses and
Big,
still vie for a national championship. That's what I think is complete bullshit. Like,
I
it is
mean,
ridiculous, the double standard. Like, scheduled, like, one year, what was it? We threw together 6 Pac-12 games, an SEC game, um, one against the ACC, and one against the Big Ten, I believe. Like, we scheduled a full Power 5 schedule, and I think we ended up going like 10-2. We went undefeated against the Pac-12, and we joked around calling ourselves the like co-Pac-12 champions, but like there was no respect because we lost 2 games against, I think it was
but that was
Arkansas.
way before the playoff
yeah, it's
was.
a whole different
Oh, I know,
landscape, right?
I know, but we were never ranked in the top 15, and we were playing that schedule. We never sniffed the top 15
But I
because
mean,
again, we weren't Notre Dame.
I mean, I'm not going to try and dispute that, saying we're not Notre Dame. I'm going to go back to the original argument. When we started this whole thing back in September, they lost at home to the number 3 team in the country. They lost by 3 points to the number 12th team in the country,
Hmm.
and then they blasted everybody that they've played. And this is my thing with BYU, okay? And it was in an article on ESPN yesterday. I read it,
Yeah.
about the predictions about where teams would end up in the playoff or the rankings this week, and it was spot on. Like, the 3-point win over Utah, great. Like, that was great, but
It shouldn't have been.
just can I
We should have
finish?
won
Let
by
me
10.
finish. Let
I know
me
where you're
finish.
going with it.
No, let me finish. You don't know where I'm going with. Let me finish. But Texas Tech beat Utah by what, 24 or whatever, 34 on their home turf.
Hmm.
Okay. Notre Dame has blasted nearly everybody they played since those 2 losses by 30 plus. They just blasted Pitt this past weekend that was ranked on the
Hmm.
road. So, how you win for teams that are outside of the SEC, how you win games that you're expected to win goes so much harder than if you just win games. That's what the committee looks at. How are you beating the teams that you're supposed to beat?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the Notre Dame schedule, I mean, that's a lot of predetermined stuff. It's not their fault that they're not good that year, right? Like at one time, I mean, going and playing Stanford, Notre Dame going and playing Stanford was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Notre Dame playing USC, big deal, right? Like a lot of those games, it's not necessarily their fault, right? That's what they have an argument that they at sometimes they go face the most rigorous schedule because regardless of conference opponent, they're going to beating somebody from every conference. And I'm not riding that train. I'm just saying that's devil's advocate from their side of things, right?
Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing: Notre Dame controls all their whole entire schedule. They get to choose. We're in a conference now where we don't get to choose. And yeah, you're right. It's not their fault that teams suck that year. It's not our fault that our teams sucked. When we were independent, we were scheduling what teams would let us play them. If you ever look at it, Georgia, Alabama never wanted to play us. Utah didn't want to play us. Okay? Like when these bigger conferences have a stranglehold on rules and scheduling and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of BS. So now it's great that teams like a BYU are in a big conference, but like it's ridiculous that the disrespect. Like, yes, we didn't blow Colorado out. Yes, we didn't blow Arizona out. Yes, we didn't blow Utah out at home, but nobody takes into account that that's a rivalry game. It's a the number 12 ranked team in the nation. But because, like you said, we're not the SEC, it doesn't matter for them if they win by 1 or they win by 50. For us, apparently it's a double standard that because we didn't blow Utah, like we were up 10 and the game was kind of over, some BS, penalties drove them down the field. They scored kind of a last minute and everybody's like, "Oh, Utah was in that game." If you watch the game, that thing was over before the fourth quarter. And yeah, BYU kind of sat back and let Utah kind of scrape back into the ball game, but that thing was done deal. BYU wasn't going to lose that going into the fourth quarter.
Let me ask you a question. Just like Danny said, playing devil's advocate here. If Utah beats Colorado by 3 points at home, do you think they move up as far as they did? If they beat Cincinnati by 5 at home, do you think that they move up as far as they did? Or if they go on the road and beat Baylor by 3 points, do you think they're the number 13 team in the country? That's what I'm saying. That's what they're looking at with this conference is like, how bad are you beating the teams that you're supposed to beat?
Yeah.
Quality wins.
When you look at Portland State, 69-0 at home. Do we need to beat them by 70, 72, 80 points? Like how much did we need to beat them by? And we let off the gas.
You're talking
going
about
into the fourth.
I don't think that one matters.
I know. I'm going game by game. 27-3 against Stanford.
ACC school.
That's an ACC school. We beat them by 3 scores. Like
4 scores in 3 schools
7 years ago, right? On the road at East Carolina, beat them 34-13. That's 21 points on the road. Okay, then we go play Colorado at their place, night game, tough place to play, and yes, we only get out of there with a field goal win, basically. Okay, so probably not how we should have, but we weren't the favorite going into that game, if I remember correctly.
No,
they
we
had
were
Colorado
favored.
picked.
No, we were favored. Yes, BYU was favored.
And then what? West Virginia at home, beat them 38-24. Go on the road to Arizona, 33-27. I mean, yeah, not a huge blowout win. In overtime, yep. But again, road game. Got the win at home against Utah. So we've had one game at home where it was a close game, and that was Utah. Rivalry game against the top 12 team in the nation right now. Utah has looked impressive outside of the Texas Tech game and the BYU game.
Hey, let me throw something out at you, okay? Lost by 3 on the road, lost by 1 at home. Win by 36, win by 43 on the road, win by 21, 29, 10, 15, 39, and 22. So every win has been by double digits since the first 2 losses of the season. And 2 of those have come against ranked opponents.
Okay. Where are most of those teams right now? Purdue, 2-9. Arkansas, 2-8. Boise State, 6-4.
But the
Like,
reason
again,
the Big 12 doesn't, the BYU is not getting the respect that they deserve because they're not beating the teams that they should be by as much as they should be. So when you compare that to a Utah who blasted Arizona, when you compare it to Utah who blasted Colorado, when you compare it to Utah who blasted West Virginia on the road, like that's what they're looking at. How is BYU beating teams? And then they go and score 6 points. And I get it was on the road at Texas Tech, and Texas Tech's defense is legit. They haven't let anybody score double figures, I don't think, on their home field yet. But that's what they look at.
I know, but you look at that loss. We lost by less on the road to the same team that blew out Utah by more at home. Like, and I'm not. My argument is against the Notre Dames of the world. Like, why? Like,
if
yeah, they scored
Notre Dame right now, today, or this Saturday. Who do you think would win?
Where's it at? Is it
neutral field
in South Bend? Neutral field? I think it's a coin toss. In all honesty, it's a coin toss.
Interesting.
You know, if we were playing Texas Tech neutral site, we're probably losing, 100%. Like
Notre Dame by 14 in Provo.
You think no, not a chance. Yeah. Vegas can set those lines, but BYU's not going to lose to Notre Dame at home. That's if Notre Dame ever wants to step foot in the state of Utah.
That'd be it ain't quite Catholics versus convicts that makes a whole new deal out of that. But yeah, that'd be cool. I think that would be cool. But hey, why not? If BYU can go win their conference championship game, Notre Dame have to go to Provo, dude. That'd be cool as hell.
They played 7 times. Notre Dame holds the record 5-2. But either way, I don't know. It's again, objective. It's up to the committee to decide things. So
it's tough to compare some of a number of the teams because they're not facing like opponents, and I get that, and like schedules. It infuriates me that you have 2 lost teams who haven't, like in Alabama, and who else is 2 loss above us there?
The West Coast argument, though, doesn't really fly with the Big 12, right? Because it's not really West Coast. Only when BYU and Utah play, and maybe Colorado.
There's still a Western league.
Colorado, Arizona State.
Right, but I mean, you got Cincinnati, West Virginia, TCU. Right?
Yeah, but the problem is who do the conferences? Which conferences have big contracts? Notre Dame, exclusive contract with NBC. So their prime time, whatever the best time is to watch those games and get viewership and get people viewing those games and seeing what's really going on.
There's no fan vote for the CFP though.
No, I know, but
12
when
people.
You have a bunch of lazy ass people watching games, they're not staying up till 11 o'clock at night like I am watching Utah or BYU or whoever out here play, right? The SEC, lock hold with ESPN. Big Ten, lock hold with Fox. Those games are played on the air during normal human hours, and that's why you see the viewership.
I think Fox is a mixed bag of results, man, because they're going big noon kickoffs going to Cincinnati for BYU Cincinnati. They've been out here for BYU and Utah, and they were in Salt Lake for one of the games too.
And Fox sees that as like an additional what do you call it, emerging market.
Primetime games themselves.
They have, and they're noticing that. But I mean, you look at BYU's game against Cincinnati. What time is it at? 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, something like that.
Why would it be at 8:00 at night in East time?
No, it's like a 12:30
see.
East, or it's like a 12:30 game for us, isn't it? Isn't it like a 3:30 kickoff?
I don't think so. I think
It
it's
says,
a
I guess it is an 8 p.m. kickoff because it's 6 p.m. here. So
yep.
that's weird.
Because
That is it.
again, the big actual noon game
It's
is
totally different.
who is it? Yeah, it's Rutgers and Ohio State is their
That's
actual big noon game.
garbage. Why
Hmm.
in the frick would you? What? That is dumb.
And then it's like
That's
you got
money. That's money right there. It's because they're attached, right? Yeah, no,
yep,
absolutely.
100%. And then CBS has at
Oregon.
Well,
1:30.
CBS is gonna have a Big Ten game because they have the contract at Big Ten now.
That's the
You're right,
Oregon USC game, right?
correct. And then NBC Notre
But
Dame at 1:30.
ESPN has game day there.
Hmm.
Yep.
So again, hopefully it all works itself out. But I think Kyle, you summed it up at the very beginning. There is a nightmare situation where a conference that's very deserving of having at least two teams, if not three teams, is going to get locked into only one because of how the current rules sit and because of the bias towards those two big conferences. The SEC is looking at getting what, five, maybe a sixth team in. The Big Ten's going to get at
Oh my!
least three in. Then you got Notre Dame with two losses. Like, if they get a third, then what? Are they out?
I mean, yeah, I don't
I,
think
I,
four Big Ten schools. I think is tops. I think four Big Ten schools is all that's good.
I mean, you look at that. That's five SEC, four. That leaves three open spots: Big 12 champion, ACC champion, Group of Five champion. We're still only getting one in. Like, that's horrendous. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully BYU wins out, and then I think you get two teams in.
Yeah, I mean, if we win out, then yeah, we'll get Texas Tech and BYU in. But
Yeah.
we lose the conference championship game. It's a coin toss at that point. It all depends on what happens between now and the end of the season with the rest.
Well,
I
it's
hope.
funny though. Wasn't there something that said like the conference championships aren't going to matter what happens, at least for some,
For some,
like
For
the Big
for
Ten
bye
and for the
season.
SEC, for those two conferences, doesn't matter what happens in their conference championship
Oh yeah,
game.
yeah. Like if Indiana loses to Ohio State, they're going to stay at 2,
Here's a
which I
crazy
or drop
scenario.
to
Here's a
three,
crazy
or
which I
scenario.
drop to
find
three.
ridiculous. No,
Here's a crazy scenario. If Miami doesn't play for the ACC championship, and they win out, these next 2 weeks, they could possibly be in the college football playoff just because everybody had talked about Miami at the beginning of the season.
Yep. And Miami's like, what have
Yeah,
they done?
They're not
Well,
good. They have talent, but they're not good.
especially if you put Notre Dame in.
Yep.
Especially if you put Notre Dame in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
Yeah. No.
Again, I know it doesn't really matter as everybody says, but it totally does. Preseason rankings, they'll always go back to that. They'll always go back to that. Any way that they can justify their preseason rankings, squeeze somebody in. Oh, well, they had this happen or this happen. Like, it's just, yeah. Okay, that's what I got. That's what I got.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Still madness to ensue.
All these crooked
You
assholes
hope
making
it is.
money off of college students
So,
and
yeah.
breaking the hearts of millions of Americans.
Well, I hope not too much madness ensues because part of the madness includes us losing this weekend. So I hope not that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want madness. That's probably the only madness that would benefit the Big 12. I mean, and I wouldn't call Oklahoma, Notre Dame, or Alabama losing madness. It's the what if Georgia loses to Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
What happens if Texas A&M loses a game? What if Ole Miss loses to Mississippi State? That's the madness that we can't have, because then that will royally. Well, I guess Ole Miss could lose to Mississippi
State. It wouldn't cause any madness. That would just probably knock Ole Miss out of the playoff.
Yeah,
which I'd be okay with. But
from
5 up, like limited madness, please. Because if Georgia Tech were to beat Georgia, Georgia Tech's at 16. Do they leapfrog?
Well, here
I'll
in
be
that
rooting for
instance,
Auburn.
this is my thought on that. In this instance, if Georgia Tech beats Georgia, then you want Alabama and Texas A&M to win on that final day because you want those two playing for the conference championship. Not that it would matter, yeah, because you
No,
don't
you want
want
Auburn. You still want Auburn to win.
no,
Yeah, no,
because if Georgia Tech loses Georgia, and they put Georgia in after that, that's probably a lawsuit waiting to happen from some schools that deserve to be in over Georgia in that instance.
I mean, it's Alabama losing to Auburn would be great. That drops Alabama down. It takes them out of the SEC championship game. That would be amazing. Go Auburn, fly War Eagle,
Yeah.
whatever. Stanford, I'm looking at you, trees. Make something happen. I'll buy an electric vehicle if Stanford wins.
Stanford's going to get clobbered by like 28 points.
They
Who does
probably
Stanford
will.
play?
Notre Dame
Notre
in
Dame.
the final
Oh, yeah,
regular season game.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to get
Oh.
small.
Because
Yeah,
Notre Dame will go into that game probably saying we got to clobber these guys to get even a sniff of the college football playoff.
and go Missouri, go Tigers, whatever they are. What are they? The Golden Tigers, or just Tigers? Go Missouri, go Tigers. Like, let's just create insanity. Let's get Oklahoma to lose, get Alabama to lose. I really don't care with Oregon because something crazy could happen, with USC or Michigan. Like, just keep that madness out of it all. And then Oregon can stay there. I don't care, but it's Oklahoma and Alabama need to lose.
Well, isn't there some madness where some ACC teams could squeak in? Like, I mean, isn't SMU kind of in the hunt? And Louisville?
No, the only team that can squeak in is Miami. Like,
everybody else has to play for the ACC championship.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. To get into squeaking into the ACC championship game. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't
Like,
think
mathematically,
so.
I think SMU and Louisville still have an outside shot to get into that championship game.
They do. Well, it's not Louisville. It's
if Georgia Tech loses to Pitt this weekend, then I think Pitt is in the ACC. No, they got to play Miami at the end of the season.
Yep.
So Pitt can play their way in. Virginia
Georgia
is
Tech
right there too.
Georgia Tech and Virginia need to win, and then that solves everything.
Georgia Tech controls their own destiny for sure, right?
Yes.
Both Georgia Tech and Virginia do.
Right. Yeah.
Who does Miami play? Okay, yeah, let's go Virginia Tech, go Pitt, go Virginia, and go Georgia Tech. Those 4 teams. Because if Miami can lose, that takes away some of the garbage, some of the potential leapfrog, and then I don't know. Georgia Tech needs to lose the last game.
Pitt is your best chance to beat Miami, right?
Virginia. Well, yeah, Virginia Tech or Pitt. Pitt's the best chance at beating Miami.
Yeah. Well, just let it play out. It's going to be a busy 2 weeks, that's for sure. So
I will say this: Miami has not. Oh, hold on. Never mind. They beat Stanford. I was going to say they haven't won a game outside of the state of Florida, but they have the win against Stanford, so they have that. But it's crazy. It's crazy, guys.
Yep.
College football.
College football at its finest.
Love it. College basketball is getting fired up. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
How's the weather over there? Is it cold as shit? You getting some rain yet? Some snow?
It's 46. It was supposed to rain and snow this week, but
we got some nice snow-capped mountains though.
Yeah, that was
cool. I finally got my truck back tonight, so I was pretty happy about that.
Oh, you got the truck back!
I got the truck back tonight, so yeah, it felt good to be in my truck. A little bit higher on the, sitting up, and
a lot rougher ride though, right?
Probably.
It felt good. It felt nice. I missed my old girl, so yeah.
He likes a rough ride.
Something like that. So, anyways, with that being said, we have debated enough tonight.
Like it.
Share some thoughts. We are going to start an apparel store, so I'm going to be putting that out. A link in the description. So check it out. Buy a shirt, maybe a mug. Well, next time I'll have a mug, for me. But yeah, support the No Sauce Podcast. We appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next episode.